Good afternoon from Magic Kingdom Park. Today we're here to harshly rank every single ride from worst to best. I hope you packed your tissues because we're about to break some hearts. Starting off exactly where you may have expected this video to go. Number 31, It's a Small World. If you come to Magic Kingdom with me and request that we ride It's a Small World, I will laugh in your face and go home. I do not like this ride.
Do you want to ride It's a Small World?
Ha ha ha.
I don't have this ranked quite as low as Ryan, but it is still pretty low on my list at number 25. Now, Small World is a classic, and for that reason I do appreciate it. However, the one at Disneyland is so much better when it comes to the actual attraction itself and the exterior. Our exterior here is so boring. And that brings me to my next point. In this video, you might hear us compare the attractions here in Magic Kingdom to the ones over at Disneyland, their counterparts in Disneyland. So just a heads up, I feel like a lot of the attractions that have the same one here in Magic Kingdom tend to be better over in Disneyland.
Now this is clearly a very long video. There are 31 attractions that we are counting here at Magic Kingdom, so I'm gonna try to keep most of them shorter. Some of them, we might even just say the title and that'll be it. But I could talk for 10 minutes on my hatred for It's a Small World, but we're moving on. Number 30, the Tomorrowland Speedway. By far the most smelly, noisy ride at all of Magic Kingdom, and this smell is natural. This is not like Figment where they intentionally pump in a fart smell or whatever. No, this is unintentional. I don't know why this ride is not electric, especially in the year 2024. I have to talk so loud over it too. I don't know. This is definitely for kids, not for me. But like we had just mentioned in the last point, this is another one that is better at Disneyland. And I do not regret saying that whatsoever. And I guess this was the first time I was able to ride a ride, but I have no nostalgia for this because it's such an annoyance and it takes up so much of Magic Kingdom when they could easily put a massive good ride here. They had to put Tron all the way back here, you know? Number 29, the Magic Carpets of Aladdin. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because we have 3 other rides at this park that are literally the same exact ride, so we'll cover those when we get there. Number 28, the Walt Disney World Railroad. I know what some of you are thinking. This is a classic ride here. This is what Walt would have loved the most out of any ride here at Magic Kingdom. So why is it ranked so low? Because it stops so many times. If this went around in one single loop and didn't stop and there was maybe some more things to see, I would appreciate it more. But personally, I feel like I'm only on this ride for 30 seconds and then it stops for another 10 minutes to have everybody go on and off and strollers and whatever else.
All right, I have the Walt Disney World Railroad at number 15 for me. I like chill rides, just going around the park in a circle is really nice. However, there's not much great stuff to look at until you're going from Frontierland to Fantasyland. That's really the only good part, and the railroad at Disneyland is significantly better. There's so much more to see, so.
Number 27, Enchanted Tales with Belle. For some reason, I don't find myself doing this attraction too often. I have done it a few times in the past year. It was a good time. If you do have little ones and want a little bit more story and interactiveness behind your meet and greets, this is definitely for sure a must do, but Belle is available for meet and greet at a lot of other locations around all of Walt Disney World, Epcot, and I think sometimes in Princess Hall, so yeah. Number 26, Prince Charming's Carousel. I feel like the only reason I ever ride this is for a bit for a video, which, yes, I'm gonna use this every single time I can to plug the Winnie the Pooh video that you haven't watched, that's in the corner. There you go. Number 25, the Mad Tea Party. I really don't know what else there is to say about this other than it's a standard teacups ride. I do like spinning it really fast when I have friends who don't want me to, and then switching directions halfway through. I feel like that's the thing that everybody does. I do think the one over at Disneyland has a little bit more, I don't know, presentation than this one, and I know it has to be covered here because it is Florida, but Disneyland one is better. Number 24, the Country Bear Jamboree. I know what you're thinking, Ryan, this ride isn't even open right now. Why are you including it? Well, we filmed it before the last few days before it closed. I don't even know when this video is coming out, so this may be still open, maybe not. They are doing a redo, and it's gonna take at least 6 months for them to do the full refurb of Country Bear Jamboree, which is including new soundtrack, new character names and stuff like that, because old character names were fairly problematic. Look it up. I don't want to talk about it here on YouTube. And I guess that's a major reason I don't like this animatronic stage show as much as a lot of other people do. Also, the seats are really uncomfortable, and I don't know, I just don't like country music.
I am actually one of those people who enjoys the Country Bears. Not only is it great because there's never a line or you don't have to wait to get in, you just go in the next show. There's great AC, but I also love the wildly inappropriate songs and jokes, and I think it's funny.
Now, if original park movies were included on this list, Country Bear would also rank fairly low because that movie was not very good. Although I guess it really made me grow to appreciate Christopher Walken as an actor because he's obviously like the best villain in any Disney Parks IP movie, I think, personally. Better than Haunted Mansion or Villains and Pirates, maybe? I love Christopher Walken in this movie. Like I mentioned, this is actually one of our very last times visiting the Country Bear Jamboree, and I've never seen this like pre-show room so packed. This is insane. Do people actually like this ride? What? I didn't know these people existed. Number 23, the Enchanted Tiki Room. When I was a kid, this actually used to be probably in my top 3, if not my favorite ride attraction at all of the parks, mainly when I was like 4 years old. We had a CD that was this yellow Disney Parks soundtrack CD that I would be putting in my CD player and listening to nonstop. And my favorite song outside of the Country Bear songs was the Enchanted Tiki, the Tiki Room, that one. And I still have some nostalgia for it. I only do it once in a while, maybe every like, I don't know, 6 months.
Now, usually I have an appreciation for the classic Disney attractions, especially one that Walt himself created. However, I find this attraction to be insufferable and super, super boring. I cannot ever keep my eyes open when I go to see it, so that's kind of why it ranks so low on my list. But I like the Tiki vibe.
Number 22, the Barnstormer, formerly known as Goofy's Barnstormer. This was actually my very first coaster I've ever been on, and I feel like a lot of others would have to say the same thing. And to bring it back to that time, I think it ranks where it does on this list because it used to be so much better. The Barnstormer went through a barn. Wow, the thought of that happening is just, it would make perfect sense. And I loved how it did, and they kind of still have the same gimmick at the same spot, kind of, I don't know. It's fine. I know they had to make some more room and like decrease the footprint of this area in order to put Dumbo where it is now here in the Storybook Circus area, but
Ryan and I had such a similar childhood in the fact that this was also probably my first roller coaster. I used to love coming on it as a kid, and I agree with Ryan where it used to be so awesome when you went through the barn, and I just think it's like lost all of that thrill. It is also like the shortest roller coaster ever, but I do remember as a child going on this roller coaster, getting off, running through the exit, and just running back up the entrance because there never used to be a line for this until they moved it back here in Storybook Circus. And I will say, I think Storybook Circus is like one of the biggest mistakes that Walt Disney World has ever made in the theme parks. I think it is just not good back here, and I think Toontown was so much better, and they just should have upgraded that.
Number 21, the Liberty Belle Riverboat. One of the multiple different modes of transportation here at the park that takes you absolutely nowhere. It just goes in a single circle. I do like this a lot better than the train, mainly because it does go in one circle without stopping. It's good on a very busy day to get away, but other than that, I don't really find a lot of purpose behind this boat, which I wish was behind me for the shot, which would have made perfect sense, but timing.
There she is.
Oh, is she creeping? Oh, she's creeping around the corner. She'll be coming around Sawyer Island, and she comes, right?
Hey, you said you don't like country music, and that's why you don't like Country Bears.
Listen, I don't know what order that is in this list. We can't mention.
You also don't like Hoop-Dee-Doo because you don't like music like that. You just sang it.
Number 20, the Hall of Presidents. Now, I know this, much like a lot of other things on the list, is not a ride itself, but it is a very impressive animatronic stage show. I personally prefer American Adventure over this one. I feel like out of all the original attractions here at Magic Kingdom, this is probably the one that is most likely risked for getting cut in the near future out of the originals, I think.
This is pretty low for me as well. However, I will say, I think this is the best attraction in all of Disney World to sleep in. Cozy chairs, a ton of them, so you can like sprawl out, very cold, and it's a long show, so good nap time.
Number 19, Monsters, Inc. Laugh Floor. This is actually the very first attraction to appear on this list from Tomorrowland because, honestly, I think this is the best land in the entire park. The only reason it ranks where it does is because I'm afraid to go on this thing because last time I was on here, I got made fun of. And I wasn't even just that guy. I was like recording a video, and I was called the like paparazzi of that guy, and they like kept dogging on me. I was like, I don't need to be here. I didn't leave, but now I don't want to go back. Number 18, the Swiss Family Robinson Treehouse. If it wasn't for the sheer amount of stairs that I have to climb on this attraction itself, I would probably be doing it a lot more often because there are some really, really great views of the park. My suggestion is that they install one of those like chair lifts that like old people have installed in their like homes so they could go upstairs where they just like sit on the side. They like, where they're like, hold on, let me do it. They're like, they go up the stairs. Then I would do this a lot more often.
This is number 30 for me, second from the bottom. There's way too much walking in the Florida sun. It is way too hot to ever want to walk up all these stairs in the blazing heat, so I don't like it.
Number 17, Astro Orbiter. I do have a few things to say about this, but we're going to cover it in the next one, which is very, very related, and you'll see why. Number 16, Dumbo the Flying Elephant. We did wait until just now to talk about this style ride itself. There are 3 different rides at Magic Kingdom that are done in this exact style, and I feel like this is definitely the top of all of them. I know we ranked Astro at 17, which is just before this, and then I think whatever second, third to the bottom was where Aladdin was, but Astro ranks where it does because it's so high. It's like up on top and you get better views. This one ranks so high because it's the ride. Like if you look back in history and look at any like ride photo from original Disneyland or Disney World, we all have that photo on this ride, I feel like, especially if you visited as a kid, or if you visited as an adult, you probably have a photo on this ride as well. It's a classic.
I will say, I think this attraction lost a lot of its charm when they brought it from its original location right behind the castle over here to Storybook Circus. Now it's kind of just like shoved in a corner where it used to be in like a main part and used to be flying around, seeing all those magical views of the castle and stuff. And now you just see magical views of nothing.
They had to have 2.
Yeah, I understand the 2 to increase capacity, but
as we did in the last ranking video, I do want to give an honorable mention because normally there are 32 attractions at this park, but right now we are not counting one of them because it's been under construction for quite a bit of time already, and that is Tiana's Bayou Adventure. I'm not even going to call it the other name because it's not going to be known as that from now on. But I guess if I were to rank the other one, it would probably rank somewhere within the top 10. I do have a lot of nostalgia for it, but I'm so excited. They've made so much progress. Like literally before when we were walking up, Chris and I were like, oh my God, like they're so close to done, at least on the outside. I don't know what it's like on the inside. I'm so excited for the ride. Hopefully by the end of 2024, that's what Disney announced, and it would rank pretty high. I feel like the new one's gonna rank pretty high when we have to redo this video when it's 32 again, you know? And I'm sure we'll visit that at some point down the road. Number 15, Peter Pan's Flight. This is yet another one of these on the list where the Disneyland version I feel is fairly superior. They do have a lot of like projection mapping over at the Disneyland version. As we're here, it's very, very clunky, not just the ride vehicles, but the animatronics themselves as well. And it could use a paint refresh for sure, but because it's such a like juggernaut of Magic Kingdom people eaters, I don't think they have the opportunity to shut it down for refurb anytime in the near future.
Number 14, the Carousel of Progress for Ryan's list, because for my list, this is actually number 1. This is actually my favorite attraction in all of Disney World. I'd say maybe like Guardians of the Galaxy now comes in at number 1, right? Guardians of the Galaxy may have taken it over, but this might be number 2. Ryan hates it, but I love it. I think it's an old classic show. Like, I'm so happy we still have this at Disney World. When there were rumors a couple of years ago of them getting rid of it, I was so sad. I could recite the entire show word for word in like the exact voice and mannerisms they do. However, I don't.
What's your favorite quote?
Yeah, that is my favorite. That's what I was trying to think of.
What?
The My Lumbago's acting up.
It is,
yeah,
really?
It is. I always say that. I actually got to meet Johnny Progress and the wife, Sarah. And I met them over in Disneyland for a throwback night, and that's what I said to them. I said, is your lumbago acting up? It's getting kind of rainy out here. I said that to them over in Disneyland because it was getting rainy, and I'm shocked they knew what it was. But yes, my favorite attraction here in Magic Kingdom, number 1, No doubt.
Number 13, Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid. I definitely, that had to be looked up. I'm sorry, this is too long of a name. In all seriousness, I think this ride is a great addition to New Fantasyland, just like Seven Dwarfs Mine Train is, which we will get to a little bit later. For those who didn't know, previously before Little Mermaid or Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, this was an old section of Fantasyland, which was home to the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride, due to the lack of popularity of that old live-action Disney film, and just the fact that it took so much money to run, and they had to drain it every time they had to clean it. They made some upgrades to the land, not only these two rides, but also the Be Our Guest restaurant, which I personally like a lot.
I thought you hated Be Our Guest.
No, I like the atmosphere in there. The food, they mess up my food all the time.
Okay, Ryan is lying about Be Our Guest. Both of us agree on liking the atmosphere, but the food is horrible at Be Our Guest.
Anyways, this section is on The Little Mermaid. Not only did this ride provide lots of cool air conditioning during a hot day at Magic Kingdom, but also, sometimes, if you're lucky, some really funny animatronics that are maybe missing a head or it's dangling. You ever see this video? Yeah, I think it's funny. I don't know. That's it. I like this ride. I think it's solid. Number 12, Pirates of the Caribbean. If you were to ask me 10 years ago what my favorite rides at Disney were, this would probably like number one, most likely. But since then, I've been to Disneyland quite a few times, and the Disneyland version of this ride is so much better. If you didn't know, little brief history, I'm going to try to make this quick. This ride was not an opening day attraction here at Magic Kingdom Park. They weren't even planning on building Pirates of the Caribbean. This was a last minute, like, let's rush this because people were like, hey, where's Pirates? So that's probably why this is not as good. It's longer at Disneyland. It has extra scenes. It's more fun there. So if I'm going to go there once a year, twice a year, I'll just ride it there. Number 11, the Jungle Cruise. One of the major reasons this doesn't rank so high on my list is because this line is literally insufferable. During the day, like any regular day, even if it's a colder day, it is still somehow 100 degrees in this line that is very compact, built for people in the 1971, because that's when this one was built. I do like the jokes a lot if it wasn't for the line, and sometimes the boat can stink a little with the amount of gas and exhaust and stuff like that. But other than that, I do really like it, and you know me, I love my cheesy jokes. One of my main goals was to work on here before I decided I never wanted to work for Disney. So that's a goal of mine. Maybe when I retire, I'll work on the Jungle Cruise, because the Great Movie Ride doesn't exist, and that would be my main goal, to work on there. But
the Jungle Cruise is a good one because of the jokes, like Ryan said, and I agree with him. It can get very toasty up in there, but one major positive, actually I have two major positives, is that they have a holiday overlay during Christmas. The Jingle Cruise comes around, and that's a fun holiday touch. And also, Ryan and I's favorite cast member ever used to work here, so another big positive.
Number 10, Mickey's Philharmagic. Although it does not rank very high on my list, it is a severely underrated ride, attraction, film. Clearly, since this is something that they are updating at the park, they did just add the Coco scene just last year. I also think it's something that's like severely needed here at Magic Kingdom. Although they do have a lot of rides that don't have height requirements, this is definitely one for people who get like motion sick on even just the smallest dark rides, and anybody could go in here. A great AC break as well. Solid one, Philharmagic, I love it. Number 9, The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Out of the classic dark rides that still exist here at Magic Kingdom, this is definitely the one that still holds its charm and not like aggressive clunkiness that Peter Pan does. As I was growing up, Winnie the Pooh was like established as like one of my favorite characters of all time, and I think still to this day, I do hold a really special place in my heart for Winnie the Pooh. And I do try to do this as much as I can. Sometimes the lines could be a bit long for this one. And of course, nothing beats a good lucid dream from Winnie the Pooh, because the Heffalump scene is probably the coolest trippiness that exists in this park. Probably the only trippiness that exists here at Disney World. I know Disneyland, they have it on, what's it called? The other ride that got the trippy stuff with the cat whose head floats.
Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland. Honestly, it doesn't even rank at the top of my like Winnie the Pooh things that exist here at Magic Kingdom, because I prefer the Crystal Palace for breakfast. Crystal Palace breakfast, probably my favorite breakfast on property. But other than that, pretty good ride, solid ride. Number 8, Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin. Something I found out today is that a lot of California locals think that their ride is superior, and a lot of Florida locals think that our ride is superior. And honestly, what my one question for the California locals is, when was the last time you had a perfect score? That's right. There's no way of scoring a perfect score on that ride, or at least to my knowledge, at least. And I've been a galactic hero multiple times on our Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger spin. Maybe that's just some talent. Thank you for the tip on the hand gesture, Casey. Or maybe that's just Imagineers here in Florida knowing that, like, hey, we want to have it be at least an option to score perfectly. And yeah, I like this one a lot. It's a lot of cardboard cutouts, but again, this is one of them that I have a lot of nostalgia for, and is still like a pretty solid ride, interactive part to it. There's like no other shooters like this at Magic Kingdom, other than the Frontierland Shooting Gallery, which is not a part of the attractions list. I'm sorry for those who are huge fans of the Frontierland Shooting Gallery, but not today. Number 7, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. A very, very solid addition to New Fantasyland here at Magic Kingdom. I think this is like probably a much needed coaster, especially the fact that most other coasters here at the park, I mean the 2 other coasters here at the park, are very rough rides now, and this is the smoothest ride, probably an outdoor coaster at all of Disney World. As you can tell in this video, every single one of these does have some downsides, that being the wait. This wait is normally the longest. Like, I don't think I've ever seen the wait times here at this park, other than opening day of Haunted Mansion with the Hatbox Ghost, that is longer than Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. Like, none of these waits are ever longer than this one. And that's saying a lot, considering I've already been talking about this ride longer than the ride lasts when you're on it.
I remember the first time I rode this coaster, I was like, wait, that's it? That can't be. But sure enough, it was over in just a couple of seconds. And the on-ride photos and videos that they have are really cool. They can actually like take a video of you on the ride. And I have a really funny photo of my grandma on this ride. Our grandma, sorry. Maybe I'll send Ryan the photo so that he can insert it in here. But it's a hilarious photo.
Of our grandma?
Of our grandma on this ride, yeah.
Number 6, Tron Lightcycle Run. This is the newest installment here at Disney's Magic Kingdom Park, and honestly, a super, super welcome addition. Originally, I was not the biggest fan of this ride itself, but it's really grown on me.
I think with the construction taking so long, it was so hyped up to me, and since it's already been out in Shanghai for so long, I think, like, I don't know, I was just expecting a little bit more from it. I don't care for it as much, mainly because of how short it is.
I think part of the reason this does not rank like at the very, very highest point in this list is because there's so many great other options here in Tomorrowland, which from this point on, a lot of this list is going to be Tomorrowland, and I'm sure you'll notice based off of the rest of this video. I wish these seats were a little bit more accessible for everyone, not just people who would normally be using the accessible seats, but just everyone in general. That is one downside of it. This, after all, this is a copied ride from over in China, and people are different sized over there, and people are different sized over here as well. Overall, like I said, really, really great addition, but not as good as some other Tomorrowland rides. Number 5, Tom Sawyer Island. I know placing it where this is controversial for a lot of people, because I know a lot of people just avoid this in general. It's a big waste of time for some on a Magic Kingdom park day. But don't you just want to, like, get away from the hustle and bustle of Magic Kingdom and take a nice stroll on a wilderness island, go through some caves that I don't fit through all of because they're very, very small because they're built for children, but that's okay. And I don't know. I mean, the only negative I have is they got rid of the barrel bridge, and that is no longer here, unfortunately.
I am sorry to all you Tom Sawyer Island fans out there, and I'm sorry to Ryan. I know he's going to be very butthurt about this, but this is in last place, 31 out of 31 for me, mainly because it's a massive pain in the behind to get to and a waste of time. I feel it takes so long. It doesn't take as much time to get over there as it does to get back. I've had to wait like over 15 minutes for a boat back at times, and that can be very annoying. It's also very hot in Orlando, so I don't ever feel the need to want to walk around. I kind of wish they would like bulldoze it, honestly, and like build another actual attraction on there, because I feel like it's just it's a huge area of land and just such a massive waste of space. Also, I am still upset that they got rid of Aunt Polly's. They used to have a restaurant on Tom Sawyer Island, and it hasn't been opened, I want to say, since like 2018. They opened it during the holidays, and that might be the last time it ever opened and will ever open. RIP to Aunt Polly's, gone but never forgotten.
Am I crazy? Am I the only one who actually likes Tom Sawyer Island? Kristen's 100% wrong. Let us know in the comments. Please type in all caps so we know it's exactly about Tom Sawyer Island. And I just love it. And I love the lore.
But think of all the rides. They could build 2 full rides on that area of land. They could literally build a couple rides over there. And no one's going over there right now.
I don't care. I don't care. Number 4, the Haunted Mansion. This actually used to be one of my favorite rides of all time. I actually have one, soon to be 2 different Haunted Mansion tattoos, which I'll put on screen right now. I love the stretching room. A lot of like really, really good nostalgic memories from this ride itself. It's just now I don't find myself riding it every time because the line is just so unbearable. Maybe it's because of the new movie, maybe it's because of I don't know what else. But I love the Haunted Mansion. It's seriously so good. It's like, it's the classic dark ride, macabre, comedy, humor, but also a little spooky, especially for kids. And I love it so much. And yes, if you are wondering, I have still not ridden this ride since the Hatbox Ghost was added. I'll get to it eventually. But it's at 70 minutes right now, so not today. I do feel like the Haunted Mansion is in so many people's top 3, if not their favorite ride at this entire park, and I fully understand that. Like, it's seriously one of the best. Is it in your top 3? Let me know. Let me know. Number 3, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. Big Thunder Mountain is by far one of my favorite roller coasters of all time. I think theming wise, it is so immersive compared to like anything else, even at Disney World. This is probably my first or second roller coaster of all time, and we have yet to get to probably my first, if not my favorite roller coaster of all time on this list, but I love Big Thunder so much. I love the lore and backstory that this ride did not necessarily need to include, but it does. Shout out Tony Baxter, Michael Eisner. I feel like in every one of these videos we have to shout out Michael Eisner.
Yeah, everyone.
Everyone.
I have this attraction at number 10 for the main sole reason that the queue I feel is insufferable. Like, it is so hot in that queue, and then you get to the tiny hallway where you merge and you're just claustrophobic and hot. There's no airflow at all, and for that reason I don't really like going on this ride, but the ride itself is fun and great. I wish they had that like dynamite scene like they do in Disneyland though.
If you do want to experience an explosive version of this ride it during the fireworks. By far, it probably enhances it tenfold. I like it during the day and the great views of Magic Kingdom, but at night, fireworks, by far, amazing. Highly suggest. And you guessed it, number 2 or number 1, depending on what you have to go, the Tangled Bathrooms. This is a joke. This does not count. I just really felt like I needed to slip in a number 2 joke somewhere in at least one of every my videos, so it's not actually on this list. Number 2, Space Mountain. If you ask me what my favorite roller coaster is of all time, I'm probably gonna say Space Mountain. Honestly, I was scared very recently from riding Space Mountain once, and that was during the week of Christmas. Did you know that during the week of Christmas, you could ride Space Mountain with the like holiday overlay that they'll normally have during the party itself? I have some clips that I think I might be able to insert here as long as I saved them. I did not film this on the ride, I filmed it from the Peoplemover, but this scared me so much simply because I'm a taller person, I have a very long torso, and my head was within inches of some of these beams, and I knew that in the first place, but when I ride it during regular hours, I don't see that. I physically cannot see that because they got the disco ball on or whatever they use for this. Best coaster at Magic Kingdom, best coaster at all of Disney World, in my honest opinion. I absolutely love this coaster. I like it better than the one at Disneyland. This is one of the few attractions that we have at Disney World and Disneyland that I actually like better over here. It's just the right amount of thrill. I love all of the drops and everything. But not the best in the entire park. That'll have to be saved for, I mean, I think this next one is obvious. Before we get to our number 1 spot, I do want to give a quick shout out. Thank you to producer Casey behind the camera. He's going to turn the camera around for helping around. Just turn it around, just like physically. There you go. For helping out with this video. He does have a lot of opinions, I'm sure, on all these rides, but because the series has like mainly been me ranking, and then Chris will be like, oh, also this is what I think, whatever. We just want to keep it similar for this round of the series. Maybe we'll approach this once new rides open up in the future and more people will be part of it. I don't know, but for now, it's just me and my sis. So yeah, okay, on to number 1. Finally, number 1, the Tomorrowland Peoplemover. This is my favorite ride in the entire park.
This is the TTA.
Yeah, I know. I love this ride so much. Honestly, all of its iterations had multiple different voiceover changes over the past few years. The most recent one, personally, I think it's uncredited, but I think
Galactic travelers, welcome aboard the Peoplemover.
I think it sounds like Bob Odenkirk, and Casey thinks it sounds like who?
Paul Rudd.
Best way to see
Paul Rudd. You watch a ride through on YouTube and let me know who you think it sounds like.
Attention travelers, your journey has been temporarily delayed. For your safety, please remain seated. Thank you.
fun fact, I've actually gotten a walk-off on the Tomorrowland Peoplemover once, and this was during the construction of Tron. Like, we stopped right in front of there, and we had to evac the car and walk down this staircase that's like technically in the middle. This is freezing. Wow, this wind is picking up. We had to walk down a staircase that was like technically in the construction zone of Tron. So I was telling people at the time, I was like, I did a walk through the Tron construction recently, even though I was just like getting evac'd off of the ride, which was really fun. I don't have any photos, obviously, because that would be against the rules, but I will tell you one thing I do remember from that walk-off was that the mats that they were using on the ground to soak up all of the like rain water and mud and stuff were old entry mats from Yacht and Beach Club Resort. It was really weird to see. Okay, I think we're gonna be moving in one sec. Ooh, this is a pretty rough day. I don't know if you could tell, but weather has been getting significantly worse. I know the edit for this video has been like way out of order, way out of whack. So I appreciate you staying with us on these. Do you guys enjoy these videos as much as I do filming them? I know I only have one left here at Disney World, but we can maybe do these at Universal. Are you interested in seeing that? Please let me know in the comments. Let me know what I was wrong. Let me know the countdown, all of that kind of stuff. I guess this is the perfect time to do an outro. Well, thank you for watching. I think this is one take since we even got on. Honestly, thanks for watching. Kristen's not with us. She's not feeling too well anymore. Maybe she'll share, maybe not. I don't know. Okay, that's all. We'll see you guys next time. Bye. Oh. We're moving now. Bye. Okay, bye.